This video, I'm going to show you how to use pretty much any indicator within NinjaTrader Strategy Builder to help us filter out our trades using the Predator X order entry. For those that are new here, or maybe you don't know, the Predator is an order entry and management tool for NinjaTrader. It lets you create a variety of fully and or semi-automated trading bots. The Predator by itself comes with many built-in indicator filters, but obviously there are a ton of options out there. It doesn't have everything. However, we can utilize the Predator's custom signal system to read indicators from secondary sources. This can be another indicator, or like we're doing in this video, another strategy as well. The purpose of this video is to show you how to easily create your own custom signals on Strategy Builder so you can create the exact conditions that you need for your own trading bot and still take advantage of the Predator's order management system. So let's get right into it. All right, so first I just want to go over what a filter signal is and how we can use it to filter out our auto entries with the Predator. So here I have the Predator opened. This will work the same with the lifetime or the trial version. It's all the same. So let's scroll down to our O2B auto entry section. And the first thing I want to do before we filter out any trades is select our auto entry option. With the Predator, you have many options from reversal, engulf, MA cross, super trend cross, or you could also do your own custom signal entry. We have videos on how all of these work right here, but for this video, I want to keep it simple. I'm just going to do a simple engulfing candle. So when we get an engulfing bar, I'm just going to enter at the break of that candle. We're going to trade the engulfing bar, and I'm going to color them in as well so we can see them a little bit better on the chart. And you can also choose multiple auto entries if you want. Again, for this video, just keeping it simple. But now let's move on to our custom signals. So we select that. And again, for this video, we are just focusing on the filter signal. So again, select that. And all the filter signal does is it acts as an on and off switch that's going to allow your long trades or allow short trades to happen. So like I said, just like an on and off switch, we need something that's going to turn on our long filter. This is going to allow our long trades. And we also need something that's going to turn off that filter. And that's going to prevent any long trades from taking place. Same thing for the short side. We need something to turn on our short trades and something to turn off our short trades. So when our long filter is on, it's going to allow long engulfing trades to take place. When it is off, it's going to prevent those long entries. When the short is on, it will only allow these short engulfing trades. And when it's off, it will prevent those short trades from taking place. So that's how the filters work, just an on and off switch. Let's go to Strategy Builder and create our actual filter signals so that we can use them with the Predator. For the example we're using today, I'm just going to be using the prior day open, high, low, close indicator. This is just going to plot the highest and lowest point of the previous day. And all I'm trying to do is when we break above the previous day's high, we're going to turn our long filter on. When we break back down below the previous day's high, we're going to turn it off. And then when we break below the low, that's when we turn on our short filter. When we go back above, I'm going to turn off our short filter. So long trades above, short trades below. That's all we're doing, keeping it super simple. And this is not trading advice. I'm just showing this as an example so you can do these same steps for your own conditions. So let's go to Strategy Builder. We're going to create a new one. So new strategy, next. And we'll name this one something like open, high, low, close, Predator signals. So next, I do recommend using on bar close when you're using custom signals. This just means it's going to calculate once anytime a bar closes. You'll end up printing less signals this way, and it makes it just a little bit easier to read. But again, you can use on each tick or on price change if that's what your conditions call for. So just on bar close. Next, we don't need any of this, so next. Inputs and variables, I do recommend creating a couple strings for your tag just to make it a little bit easier to copy and paste into the Predator. So I'm just going to create a string, and I'm going to call this one long on. The default, I'm going to name it exactly the same. And I'm going to do this for my long on, off, and short on and off. So again, string, this time long off, and name the default the exact same. And now for these shorts as well, short on, string, short on, and last, short off, string, short off. Once we have that, if your conditions call for any other variables that you need to customize, you can add that in here. But for this one, again, I'm just trying to keep it simple. This is all we should need. So I'm just going to hit the next button. And the conditions and actions, this is where we actually build out our conditions. So for set number 1, I'm just going to create a condition that's going to turn on our long filter. So again, I just want to turn it on when we cross above the high. So add price close of bars that go 0. That is the most current candle. I'm just going to say cross above indicator, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the prior day open, high, low, close. And just so we can get a visual of it, I'm going to plot it on the chart. And very important, make sure you select the correct plot. So from the plot value, I'm going to select high, and I'm just going to hit OK. Once we have that, that's really the only condition that we need for long trades. So let's go to our action section, add, and from here, we're going to create the signal that the predator can read. We're just going to do an arrow. That is usually the easiest thing we can do. So arrow up, bars that go 0. The color can stay a green or lime in this case, that's fine. Now, the most important part is our tag. So let's go to set and string 0. I'm going to change this to our user input, and I'm going to change this to long on. This is going to be the actual tag that we type into the predator, and it's going to allow it to read. Now string 1, we are going to change this as well. Very important. Go to MISC, current bar. This is just going to match the tag with the current bar, and that is what the predator reads and creates our order based on this tag. So once we have that, the only other thing that we need is the y-axis. I see this a lot. A lot of people are leaving this at 0. Then they send me a message saying there's no arrows on their chart. That is because it's getting set at 0. So for most instruments at 0, you're not going to see it. So I always suggest setting it at the price. And if you have an up arrow, I usually set it at the low of the candle. You can set any offset if you want, but for this video, again, I'm just keeping it nice and short. So that's all we need for our long on. Now let's create our long off. So when the price crosses back below the high, that's when I want to turn our signal off. So I'm just going to make a copy, and I'm going to change the cross above on set number 2 to cross below. Again, make sure you're plotting on the chart and you have the correct plot value. Now for this one, because we're going down, I usually like to do an arrow down. We can leave that one at red, that is fine. And again, we have to change the tag so that the predator can read it. So string 0 is just our user input, long off. String 1 is our MISC, current bar. Don't forget the y-axis, we need that as well. This one, again, we're going down. I like it at the high of the bar. You can add any offset if you want, but that should be good enough for now. For our short conditions, I want to turn our short on when we break below. So for this one, I'm going to copy set number 2, and I'm going to change the condition. So when the closing price crosses below, and this time I'm changing the plot value to the prior low. Then again, because we're crossing down, I want to create the down arrow, that's fine. This time I'm going to change this to Dodger blue, just so we can have different colors for the long and the short. And the tag, I want to change this to our short on tag and keep the same current bars, that's fine. And the high of the bar should be okay. Let's hit okay. And now we have to turn that short filter off as well when we cross back above the low. So I'm going to copy set number 1. And again, just change the conditions. So cross above, change the plot to the low. And this time I'm changing the color. We'll change it to a hot pink. And the tag, we will change the long on to a short off. And last, the y-axis, don't forget that. Hit OK, Once we have that, that's pretty much all that we need to put this into the Predator. Let's just hit compile and I'll show you how that works. All right, once it's compiled, let's load it onto our chart. We have to load the strategy with our signals first before we load the Predator. So right click on your chart, strategies, and we're going to go down to our open, high, low, close, Predator signals. Here you can see the tags that we're going to use. These will come handy in just a little bit. But for now, just hit apply and enable it. Make sure all of your signals are on the chart. So we can see when we cross above the prior day's high, we create a green arrow. When we cross below, we have our red arrow. That is our long filter off. Cross back above, long filter on. And we can see it just keeps turning it off and on. Now let's check out the short filters as well. So here on the opposite side, when we cross below, we have the blue arrow that's turning on our short filter. When we cross back above the low, we are turning off our short filter. So everything seems to be working. This one, it's up here. So we haven't triggered anything yet on the current day because the prior day's high and low have not been hit yet. So now, before we load the Predator, let's go over the actual tag that we need in order to load this with the Predator. So I always recommend doing this on your own, regardless of the indicator or anything anybody else has said. Verify you have the correct tag. Even if you're the one that built out your own signal, always, always, always check the tag before you load the Predator. So how we do that, we can just click on any signal and it's going to bring us to the drawing objects page. So what we need for this to work with the Predator, and this goes for any other signal out there, this will work all the same with the Predator. So what we need is the tag with the current bar code. The current bar is usually a number on the side. This has to be at the very end. And the number, you will see it increases as you go down the list. This is usually because it's getting attached to the current bar at the time. If you see your signal saying something like long on 1, long on 2, long on 3, that usually means it's not coded using the current bar code. That means we can't really use this with the Predator. It needs to have this current bar code. And what we type into the Predator is anything right up to that current bar number. So right before this 6, right before the 7, we have to type everything in before that. That includes the space, if there is a space between the last character and the number. If you do not see a space between the last character and the number, do not type in that space into the Predator. If you're building your filter on Strategy Builder like this video, you'll most likely have the space, so you would add the space in. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. All we have to know is long on with a space, long off with a space, and same thing, short on with a space, short off with a space. So let's load the Predator, go to Strategies, Predator, and again, this works the same for the trial or the lifetime version. And I'm just going to set up our bot. I'm just going to do a simple engulfing candle. And I'm going to color that engulfing. After that, let's scroll down to our custom signals. And we're going to select our filter signal. All right, so here we just type in the tags from the signals that we created on our other strategy. So for on, it was long on. And remember, there was a space between the last character and the number. So we just put in a space at the end. Now we have to turn that long filter off. So let's type in the tag for that signal, long off with the space at the end. Now for the short, we turn it on with a space, and we turn it off with a space at the end. So that's all we have to type into the Predator, and now it's going to filter our trades based on our third-party signals. Now we just set up our order management exactly how we want. In this example, I just set up 2 different profit targets. The first one is a 36 tick target. The second one is a profit target based on ATR. And we're going to trail again based on that ATR. You can set this up however you want. The order management is completely up to you. I have more videos on how to do just that if you want to customize. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's a lot to go through, and the other videos explain it much better. But you would just customize your order management, and you can select additional filters as well. So if you want specific times you want to trade, or certain trades per direction, or a P&L limit, you can do all of that. But again, I'm just going to hit apply. And before I enable the predator, just make sure your signals are showing on the chart. Once we verify that, enable the predator. And now we have everything that we need. Let me just make this chart bigger so it's a little bit easier to see. Now, before we hit play and see how this works in real time, the first thing I want to go over is the validation system. This is going to let you know if everything is working fine or if there's any sort of problem with the signal. The top row is going to show an F long, that is your filter long. You have your filter long on and your filter long off. You should see a check mark next to each signal. A check mark means it's reading the tag and everything is working properly. It should continue to do so as your strategy progresses. Same thing with the F short, that is your short filter. You should see a check mark next to it. If you type something in that's not right, so let me go back into the predator and I'm just going to change, maybe I'll take the space away and maybe I'll put in a lowercase when it should be a capital, just to show an example of what a wrong tag looks like. So once it's loaded, if you see this hourglass, that means the validation system has not picked up on that tag. It could mean either the tag has not been created yet, or in most cases, it means there was a wrong tag put into the predator. So if you see an hourglass, double check your tag. Make sure you have it exactly how it's written inside the drawing object properties. So again, everything must match 100% right up to the current bar number. That includes any spaces if there are any. So here we have a lowercase, it doesn't match. Here we took away that space between the last character and the number, it doesn't work. So again, let's go back into the properties and I'm going to add the capital and add the space. So if you see the check mark, that means everything is reading properly. You should be good to go. Now, the next thing is your filter status. This is going to tell you if your filter is on or off. So here you can see our long is currently off and so is our short. That means it's not going to let long or short trades take place in its current state. So if we keep playing it, nothing's going to happen. If for whatever reason you want to override this, these are also buttons. You can simply turn them on and it's going to allow trades to take place. Just keep in mind, as more signals appear, it's going to automatically adjust. But for the most part, you shouldn't have to push these buttons. It will do it automatically, but they are there in case you want to override a certain direction. So right now I'm going to leave them off just because we haven't crossed that high or that low. And I'm just going to hit play now. So we are looking for the price to cross above the high or below the low. And this was probably not the best day to show. Let's go back in time. Why did that? All right, so I just went back in time, downloaded a bit more data, and I'm going to show how this works. So here we are just waiting for the price to cross above the high or below the low. So here it went a little bit quick. I have it at max speed, but you could see our long filter turned on, it turned off, and then it turned back on with this long signal. So that means with this filter signal on, it's currently going to allow any long entries that take place. So in this case, any engulfing candles, it's going to enter a long bullish candle. So let's see if we get one.
Order filled.
All right, so here we had our bullish engulfing candle. It entered our trade according to our conditions, hit our first profit target, and now it's just trailing. Again, you can set this up based on any of your conditions. That is going to be completely up to you. So as long as it's above this line and our filter is on, it should only take long entries.
Order filled. Order filled.
So we'll see if it crosses back below so we can see our filter turn off.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled.
And again, guys, I'm not saying this is profitable. I just put this together for the sake of this video to show you how these filters work.
Order filled.
Ideally, you'd build your own conditions on Strategy Builder. All right, so here we finally went below that upper line, and you could see our long filter automatically turned off. This means it's not going to allow any more long trades. Here it's turning on and then back off.
Order filled.
And here it just turned on at the last second here, and it entered a trade. So only after it turned on. But now we are back off. We might be right on this line here.
Order filled.
So as it's going up and down, you can notice over here, it just keeps turning on and off depending on our signal condition. All right, so here we're halfway through the day and we still haven't taken any trades because again, we haven't crossed above or below. So our filters stay off. It's just keeping us out of this mess. We'll see maybe this day we cross, or we'll have to wait until the following day.
3 days later.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, finally here at the end, we got one little trade, but new day. And we start over again. Now we're looking for a new cross above or below.
Order submitted.
All right, finally another long trade. We're still waiting for a short trade. Hopefully we can see one in this example.
Order filled.
But it's looking like mainly just long trades in the last few weeks.
1 eternity later.
And finally, we cross below the low. Our short filter turned on, and we got an engulfing candle, entered us into a short trade.
Order filled.
Then cross back above, turns our short filter off. But I think we all get the point. It's just to show how to create your own custom signals using Strategy Builder, and then we can help filter out our trades using the Predator. But I hope you guys found this video useful. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, let me know in the comments. Let me know on Discord. But as always, take care. Enjoy.